Well, this feels a bit like deja vu. Didn't we just showcase a Vivec City Overhaul? Like, just a month ago? But here we are again. There's been another one released, and so, today's mod of the day is Vivec City by the Inwas and Mushrooms team. Much like the other mods, so we've showcased, along a similar vein here. This mod overhauls and it sort of slightly expands the city of Vivec, notably expanding the Siltstrider port and also adding a Guar stables and a couple of small shack farmsteads outside of Vivec. Though these are notably cosmetic, they don't actually have interiors. In addition, there's just a ton of new Velothi walls and gates to each entrance into Vivec, which are guarded by some, more aggressive Ordinators, and indeed, you'll actually see Ordinator patrols going around the cantons and aggressively questioning people who are just going about their business. But anyway, one of the bigger scenic additions that this mod makes is a new set of cargo docks to the Haladu Canton. And this is the third Vivec mod to add some kind of, Velothi-style docks to Vivec. Since that was one of the biggest missing features in vanilla Morrowind. The other mods are Vivec Docks by Hrafingar, which adds a set of docks to the Foreign Quarter Canton. And of course, concept art of Vivec Ports, which adds them to the St. Alms and St. Dellon cantons. And by the way, those mods are completely compatible with this mod, so if you wanted to, you could just combine just all these together to get just a ton of docks in Vivec, which, makes sense. It's a city built over water. Why wouldn't there be just a ton of ports and docks for people to use? That makes sense. But anyway, I've already, gone in this diatribe before with the Rethinking Vivec showcase, which, by the way, Rethinking Vivec is not compatible with this mod. But, focusing on Vivec City here, this mod adds a variety of new outdoor merchants, some of which are animated around especially the Haladu Canton, but you'll also see them in other parts of the city. And each canton is uniquely decorated, like the Rethinking Canton, of course, has a ton of Rethinking banners, which are, quite scenic looking. And overall, this mod makes just a ton of changes to the exterior of each canton, with lots of atmospheric lighting, banners, and, some additional fun little features, like cosmetic detailing with graffiti, which we'll be taking a closer look at here in a moment. But first, just pointing out some of the, other details that you'll find here. There's a lot of additional clutter with crates, barrels, bits of rubble from the cantons, and gardens, and, things of that nature. Basically, a lot of this is stuff we've seen before with the Malag Mar overhaul, also by the Inwas Mushrooms team. And stylistically, this is basically, the same sort of deal, only on a much, much bigger scale. And there's just a lot of, little things that I really like about this overhaul, from the strings of lights for, each canton, that adds just a really amazing atmospheric effect during the, evening and nighttime hours, to the concept art style graffiti that you'll find on the various cantons, especially the Arena Canton, which you can see here. I mean, the artwork here is utterly amazing. I love this. The just level of detail with the Daedric writing, the different etches of creatures like the Siltstriders, the Guar, Kaguti, the different religious symbols like the moon and star. And, there's a lot here, and I do want to get just a close-up of some of these decals and etchings, because, again, they are just fantastically well done. And I think, don't quote me on this, but I think a lot of this is from the artwork of Ashtal, At least, I suspect it is, anyway. I don't know that for certain, but I do remember that Ashtar released a mod that, added things like this before. But anyway, just briefly comparing this to some of the other, Vivec City overhauls, especially since there's been so many over the past year or so. I mean, we've got beautiful cities of Morrowind, Rethinking Vivec. Dramatic Vivec, of course, is a classic from back in 2016. There's a lot of options for Vivec these days, but I'd say this is kind of a nice, middle-of-the-road overhaul. It, mostly focuses on providing that sort of concept art, style look to Vivec without going overboard. For one thing, this doesn't have open cantons. The canton plazas are still closed. Whereas Beautiful Cities of Morrowind and Rethinking Vivec, both have open cantons, which, can hit the the FPS performance particularly hard. In fact, my FPS impact with Vivec City here is fairly minimal. I'd say there's maybe an average of a 5 FPS drop across the entire city compared to the vanilla game, but that's really not too bad, especially considering that Rethinking Vivec has a much greater FPS impact, closer to probably about an average of 10 FPS in terms of the drop across the city. Though, having said that, Rethinking Vivec does have a lot more features, with the open cantons, the harbours and ports in front of the St. Alms and St. Down cantons, the reworking of the wasteworks. It's a heavy and big overhaul, which also means that it will conflict with a lot more mods. But this, Vivec City, is again what I would call a sort of a middle-of-the-road overhaul. It, does cover and detail pretty much the entire city, but it's also compatible with a lot of other mods, like again, Vivec Docks, concept art Vivec Ports, concept art Vivec Palace, theoretically. That's more guessing. I haven't actually tested this, but eyeballing it, it should theoretically be compatible. Vivec City does make a few, slight changes to the palace with some etchings and detailings, and also some lily pads and the fountains here. It's a really scenic, middle-of-the-road overhaul for Vivec that really does quite a bit, and it's certainly quite beautiful to visit. But anyway, that's our mod of the day. So, as always, I've been your SR Golf Guy. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. Happy modding, and I'll see you all next time.